Well, hello friends. Today we are going to make a Resize Corner widget thingy that will go in the bottom right corner of Window, optionally. And let's say you have a text editor, and then in the bottom here we would have sort of something that you could grab onto that would allow you to resize without grabbing the very edge of the window. You know how those systems of old used to have. So I've sort of drawn a few versions here. This is like Windows 95, I think. This is one that I drew that I kind of like. Here's another variant, and yet another variant. But I think I'm going to go with this variant here. So first thing I want to do is just turn off the background layer because I want to save this as transparent PNG. So let's go into, I guess, the icons director here, and we'll put it, I call it something like Resize Corner .png. And Serenity can actually only read a particular pixel format of PNG right now, so I have to select that here to make sure that GIMP saves in the correct format, and then I just turn off all of these things really for no reason other than why have them there if they're not used. Okay, so now we are gonna create a new widget. So we're gonna call it, I think, Resize Corner. Yeah, that's a good name. And we will also edit the GUI make file. Okay. Let's make a class. Resize Corner, and it's going to be a public G widget. And definitely needs to have a parent. A virtual destructor. And I'm gonna need some private business. Let's say that, or I guess you might want to inherit this thing and make your own Resize Corner out of a wire, but let's imagine that you want it to. So let's have a paint event, and let's say a mouse down event. Let's just start with this, and we can figure out the rest later. Okay, now let's edit the CPP file. So let's implement those things that we added. Parent, like this. Should really name that. Okay. Okay, and then Resize Corner, paint. And finally, Resize Corner, mouse down. So I don't exactly know how we're going to solve this whole thing yet, but we'll figure it out as we go. Okay, now we have all of those at least. So let's deal with the paint event. Get a G painter. For this, and we'll say add clip rect, event rect. And then let's fill the rect with our background color, because we're also going to split that picture now. So split, I guess at 0, or I mean at rect application really, or can we just do? I mean rect location is always 0, 0, so this is silly. Like we should just do this. Okay. What was the next argument? Shit, I don't remember. Probably the bitmap. Cube creator, why don't you show me what the arguments are? Lit graphics bitmap. Thank you. Okay, so we'll just call it bitmap. And finally the source rect. So that would be like the bitmap rect. Okay, and then we will do something like, this will be a bit ugly, but it'll work. So if bitmap, if there is no bitmap, then bitmap is graphics bitmap load from file. I think we need to include graphics bitmap, yeah, to get the prototypes. Yeah, and the path. And the path was res icons resize corner, not PNG, I think. Base res icons resize corner PNG, yeah. Okay, so this is just so we only load it once. Okay, I think that's cool. Let's put this somewhere. So let's put this in, I guess we can put it in the About app, just for testing. So, how do we do this? Or no, wait, hold on, that's not where I want it to be. I want it to be in the G abstract view. Or G scrollable widget, is that the one? Yeah, so G scrollable widget is the foundation class, or the base class for table views, item views, and the text editing class, the G text editor. So it just sort of helps you create any widget that has vertical and horizontal scrolling, and it also puts this little dummy corner widget in there. And I will show you what that widget looks like currently. Actually, we already saw it, but it's just, you don't even realize it's there. It's this thing here. It's just an empty gray widget. And I think for this particular patch, we are just gonna put something there. I know it won't look totally right with the status bar, so I don't like that. Actually, now that I think about it, so we should put it in the status bar, because the status bar is always in the bottom of the window. So scrap the scrollable widget, let's put it in the status bar. Okay, as you can see, we are figuring this out as we go. So G status bar is going to have a G Resize Corner. Okay, and we'll just forward declare that. Okay. And how does this work? So this thing has a layout. I guess we can just start with putting it at the end of the layout. How do we put something to ensure that it will be at the right place? I guess we'll worry about that later. We'll just put it in place for now. Corner is new, G Resize Corner, that is okay. Good, G Resize Corner, cool. Oh yeah, and the resize corner is going to have a fixed size policy so that it doesn't try to resize itself. It's going to be, I guess, 16 by 16 or however big that picture was. So 16 by 16, yeah. Set preferred size. It's going to be 16 by 16. Okay. And I guess we should build the GUI and text editor and sync and run. But before we do that, let's go in the kernel and automatically launch ourselves the text editor because that is so convenient. Okay. And we died. Oops. Why did we die? Because of some assertion here that did this not work out? Source.rect contains save source.rect. What the heck? Okay, hold on. Did this not load or something? That's not correct. To string characters. Well, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right at all. Okay, hold on. Well, let's do this differently. I don't want to mess around with this. I'm not even sure that I trust the static initializer right now, so feeling very paranoid about that. So we are just going to go ahead and create it on construction because we're not going to have many of these anyway, so it doesn't matter. I recently worked on static initializers, so I have this leftover suspicion about them, I guess. So let's say assert mbit. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say. Well, look at that. It just up and loaded. So there was something up with my static thingy. Or probably there was a mistake that I didn't realize I was making. Now that I look back on it, yeah, of course, I see what the mistake was. I was making a dumb mistake. That, see here, this is returning a smart pointer, and then I'm assigning that to a raw pointer, and this thing here has an operator T star and retain putter, right? So that's operator T star, which will just convert this thing into a raw pointer, and then the retain putter goes out of scope, and my graphics bitmap is deallocated, but I have a little dangling pointer to it. That was the mistake, not the stupid static initializers. Don't blame them. But it's much nicer to keep it up here anyway, so I'm going to have it as a member. But I'm glad that we didn't not figure that out. Okay. So, damn, that actually looks pretty good. I'm happy with the way it looks, actually. Yeah. But now we have to make it actually do something. So, well, first thing that we're going to do actually is we're going to do enter event, because I want to change the cursor to this Resize cursor when we enter and leave. So, wait, what are these things called again? Enter event, right? Oh, it's not G event, it's C event. Okay. We'll take these. UK. And then we'll say wait, what the heck is that thing called? Override cursor. Yeah. Right. So it's window. And we're gonna need G window. Window set override cursor. G standard cursor. Resize. Damn, what the hell is that thing called? WS cursor. Oh man. I know I have a name for it. It's diagonal something. Diagonal TLBR. So it's diagonal top left bottom right cursor. That is a mouthful. But I guess it will work. So we need to expose a way to set that actually. So resize diagonal TLBR. Top right bottom left. No, that's not the name of it. So what do we call it then? Bottom left, top right? Bolter. Alright. Guess that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna have to add these in a few places. Oops. Ah, dang. Dang. Text editing problems. Okay, I don't want to screw this up. Should be copy pasting these, Jesus. Okay. And the API types as well. And then here in the Windows Server cursor class, we have to know which image to use. Resize diagonally, TLBR. Well, this is actually pretty straightforward. I thought this would be more involved. Thank you, past self, for making this reasonably easy to extend. Okay, now where the heck were we? Right here. So when we enter, we want to say resize diagonal TLBR. And when we leave, we want to say window, is there a clear override cursor? No, set override cursor, null footer. And then I guess we should probably call the parent just to be nice. Oh, not null footer, G standard cursor, none, because there's no override anymore. Oops. I think we should be a good citizen and do this everywhere. Because one day I'm gonna do something in the parent and then I'm gonna wonder why nobody's calling it. Okay, let's see how this works out. Shit, I need to rebuild the Windows server as well. No? There's no such thing as painter event. Okay, let's see if we get the right cursor. Ah, look at that. Now we have this nice looking cursor. We just have to actually react when we press. So I think what we're going to do is that when you click on this thing, we're going to send a signal to the Windows server saying, hey, start a resize right now on this window. So we'll just add a message for that. that will be a new WS API client message. It will be start window resize. Yeah, and we really just need to pass the window ID, and then the Windows server can figure out the rest. So let's say here, let's say WS API. Oh, we need to include API headers. Okay, so client message type start window resize message dot window ID. Oh, actually, maybe they should live in the window class, ng window class, because it's a bit weird that we would do it from the Resize Corner. Yeah, so we should put this in G window. I don't know what I was thinking. So start. Start WM resize. Yeah. Okay. So let's make a function for that. Start WM resize. And this is where we'll put the stuff. And that will just be this message actually. So we just need to pass this much. And we'll say G event loop, post message to server message. I think that would do it. Okay. Oh, actually, we should make sure that mouse button left. Okay. Because no other button matters. This is going to be a left button only thing. Okay. Now we have to go and take care of this message. So let's go to the WS event loop. This is where the incoming message arrives in the Windows server. So we'll just say WS API client message type start window resize. And when that comes, we're going to post an event to the Windows server event loop called WS API start window resize request with the client ID and the message window ID. Okay. Now we have to go and make up the subject. And it's going to be one of these. So class API client request. Client ID and window ID. Client request. What do we call this? Start window resize request. Window ID, window ID. Okay, let's just write all this out. Great. And let's add this type up here. Okay. And then where are these? Here. So when this comes into the client object in the Windows server, we call the handle request overload static cast const ws window management API set start window resize request. Shit, I didn't call it the right thing. Oh, but it's not a, or is it WM API actually? I guess it is a window management API. Shit, yeah, it is a window management API, so it should be called start window resize request. Huh. Did I write this somewhere? Yeah. So I'm just changing the name to reflect the fact that it's a window management API. Put it with the other window management functions down here. You up here. Okay. And I guess technically this should be yeah, this is fine for now, and we can look at the other stuff later. Or no, let's not screw it up now, because I'll regret this if I don't do it right. So because it's a window management API, we should pass along the target client ID and the target window ID, rather than my own client ID and window ID. So window management API is basically, it's currently what's used to implement the taskbar, and it's how I would like to implement the window manager as a separate process in the future. So I'm just kind of adding these APIs as I go, and they operate on other windows belonging to other processes. That's why they work a little bit differently. So let's see, where did we use this? Yeah. Client ID, then yes, WM API. This is going to work a little bit differently than shit. I should have just copied this to begin with. Okay, start window resize request. It's better that we do it right now. Doesn't have that. Okay, are we back on track? Okay, so the thing that we wanted to send was this, and it was going to have to be M and do we even know our client ID? Okay, I'm just going to leave this blank for now, and it's just not going to care about it. And we're just going to say fix me, fill in the client ID. It's my own client ID. Okay. That was a hefty sidetrack. So now we can go and finally implement the handle request overload for this guy. So first up, we add it here. And then we are going to put a, actually we can copy this guy. Copy the set window minimized request handler and change it to a start window resize request handler. Jesus. Almost. Okay, now all the boilerplate is finished. What do we do? So now we are in the window server. We have a reference to the window that wants to resize. Is it this simple? Start resize? No, it's WS Window Manager, done. Start window resize. And we know the window, but we don't have a mouse event for this. I have to do this without a mouse event. And we're gonna have to also surface this API. So what does it do with the mouse event? Event, it figures out the direction of the resize, but we don't need that. So I guess what we can do is just factor this out. Let's start on point position, and this will actually be fine. Off this. Wait, I didn't move anything. Okay, there we go. And then here, we'll just say start window resize window event position. And then where were we in the client connection? So when we get this thing, then we're gonna cheat and we're gonna say, or are we gonna cheat? No, let's not cheat. Let's say where it actually started from. So I guess the logical thing would be to pass along the cursor info. Okay, so let's do that. Or wait, no, hold on, let's cheat. Let's cheat so we can see it working. We already know the cursor, I think. Where the heck are you? Cursor location. And this thing takes a point. Event button, right? Mouse button. Okay, so this is that. Okay, and in this case, do it that way. And then this guy should also take mouse button. And here we will pass. We are gonna cheat. Cheat. And we have to build the Windows server as well. Oh, I feel like I'm hacking too much, not talking enough right now. So basically, I'm cheating. I'm going to cheat now by just picking the current mouse position on screen to use as the resize origin when we initiate the resize, because I suspect that that would work just fine. So we crashed because of a bad client ID. Yeah, well, I should have known. I didn't fill that in. From client ID. So I'm just gonna use self, and I will say fix me. Use request target. Okay. Look at that. It works. Plop, plop. Very cool. Very, very cool. Does it play nice with the thing? It's a little bit weird that the cursor goes back to an arrow until you move again. I guess that's probably... Why would that be? Let's look into that. So, an end resize. What could it be called? Process ongoing window resize. Okay. So if it's a mouse up event that comes in and it's the resizing mouse button that mouses up, then we send out the resize event, and then we clear the resize window, and that's it. Well, why would we change the cursor? We would still have the override cursor, I would think. Well, let's investigate. So let's printf will help us. Setting override cursor. Clearing override cursor, okay. It clears when we do that. So it clears when we begin resizing, right? So here we set it, start to resize, move a tiny bit, and we've cleared the override cursor because we get a leave event. Why do we get a leave event? How does this work again? So that would be ng window, leave, when we do a set hovered widget. So let's find out who's becoming the hovered widget. Widget class name, widget. Okay. Let's get to the bottom of this. So here, now this thing is the hovered widget. We move and we have a null hover widget, okay. This also makes me realize that the class name of the Resize Corner is incorrect. Let's fix that. Const override. It's nice to be able to see what things are. Okay. So set hovered widget. Calling it here window left. Is that what we're getting? Window left. I guess we can see if this is what we're getting. Because if this is it, then that means that the Windows server is telling us that the cursor has left the window, which doesn't seem entirely accurate. Yeah, to get window left. That's weird. Okay, so it's one of these, which is sent out here. Window entered. Okay. Oh, window entered and window left. Oh, I see. So we're sending out window left. Where does this thing come from then? It's here. And window manager, set hovered window. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So when a window manager receives an event, it is a mouse event, then we call process mouse event, and then whatever was determined to be the event window is the hovered window. So I think this is where we go wrong because we are resizing now, but the cursor is still over the window. So, but the window is not receiving this event. So technically it's hovered, but it didn't receive. Oh, this is a bit irritating. So I guess if we change the semantics here a little bit, so that it returns to actually the hovered window, not just the event window, but the hovered, literally the hovered window. Let's look at this function, process mouse event. Let's see, so process ongoing resize. This is where we'll end up, I think. Yeah, and then we just don't do anything with the pointer here. So we could actually say that could actually do this. Say window is and resize window. Hold on. So how did this work here? So if this thing returns true, then we stop processing. Right. So here we need to do something, and here we need to do something as well. So we can say that if in Resize Window contain the event position hovered window. Let's do it like that. And then down here after we do the resize, we'll say if the new rect contains the event position, then yeah. That's more like it. Yep, that's how it should work. Okay, so then we are keeping the different semantics here, so I'm just going to rename the variable process mouse event So it's going to be a little bit different. So we'll rename to covered window. Guess in window drag, should we do the same in window drag? So as that, when we do this, and then move this around, and then it becomes an arrow, and then, yeah, so we need to do the same for drag, actually. Okay, so then we'll say that covered window. If drag window rec contains event position and drag window. And same thing down here. Yeah. And where else did we do this? So down here, process mouse event. Okay, I think that's good. So let's see how this works. Cool. Let me drag this around. That's not quite right. So hold on. What's going on here? So this is the hovered widget. Start dragging. Immediately becomes no hovered widget. So what do we do in start window drag? Who is calling start window drag? I guess framework contains. Okay, so here we know that this thing contains the thing. So we're going to do this here. Here too, honestly. Okay. And let's rename this guy here so that it's clear what's going on. This is a little bit convoluted, but I think it's okay. Yeah, because now it's working right. Now we have the I-beam cursor. And of course you saw the terminal was crashing on startup there. That's just because we need to do a full rebuild. But let's clean up some of this debug output that we left around. Oh, that was there. Right. And then set hovered widget. What else did I do? Debug. Printf. Nothing? Okay. Let's check out and let's do a full rebuild. And then we can look at the code. So first we gotta add these things to the Git repo, and then we'll say git diff head. Okay. So patch read. Resize Corner class right here. Starts out like any GWidget subclass. We set it to fixed size 16 by 16, and then we load that bitmap that we made right here. And in the paint event, we clipped the event tract and then filled with the background color. And then we blit the bitmap at 0, 0. Cool. Then in the mouse down event, when we click with the left mouse button, we start a window management resize. And then here I see that we gotta clean these up. Okay. So when we enter, we set the diagonal override cursor, and when we leave, we clear the override cursor. That's cool. And here is the, here's the header for that class, the G Resize Corner. Looks pretty straightforward. Nothing out of the ordinary, even has a class name, so that's nice. Okay, then in G status bar, we create a corner, and of course it ends up in the rightmost position because we add it after we add the label. And this label, because the label has a fill as its size policy, it's the default size policy, and the resize corner has a fixed size policy. That means that the label stretches out to take all the available space, while the corner widget will only take up 16 pixels horizontal space. So that's just a Qbox, not Qbox layout, Gbox layout. It's obviously very inspired by Qbox layout at work. Okay. Here we are adding just a member for the corner. I guess technically we don't even need that, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. So in G Window Start Window Management Resize, we have a fix me here. So can we do that fix me right now? Let's see, G event loop. I think when we get this greeting message, I guess it could also tell us our client ID. So let's see, greeting. So when we connect to the Windows server, it will send us a greeting message, and it contains wait, hold on, greeting. That's the wrong greeting message. This is where I sent my PID. The other greeting message, server sends his PID and the screen rect, and I think we're also going to send your client ID. I think that would be cool. Then we can do something like S client ID. That's my client ID, and screen your client ID. I think that would be useful. And then we'll do that here. This shouldn't be a PID TBG. What's going on here? Int as client, my client ID. And we will add a little thing for that. I'll call it my client ID. Okay, now we have that. Well, we almost have that. Server PID. Gotta make sure we send it actually. So greeting dot your client ID is client ID. Okay, now the client will have his ID. So we can go and start WM resize and fill this in. That will then be in G event loop my client ID. Yep, and then in the client connection code, start window resize request, we can then use the target client ID instead, as originally intended. So let's rebuild and look at that again. Okay. So now we also add this stuff to G event loop, so that we have that ID. This is all the same. So start WM resize. We send a client ID and window ID for the window that we want to initiate a resize on. Oh shit, I forgot to put this somewhere as my client ID. Okay. Cool, and then we post it to the server, and this is going to be asynchronous actually because we don't expect a reply. Then here we are just adding the new diagonal cursor enums. Your client ID in the server message that we get with the greeting now. Here's that new message type, window management, start window resize. Here in the server, when we greet the new client, we include his client ID. And then here is the implementation of the start window resize request in the WS client connection, which will do this. It will fetch the client based on the ID. So it's target client. Of course, in our case, it's just ourselves, but we still have to go through this. In case you're telling the window server to resize someone else's window. Okay, and then we look up that window ID, and if we find it, then we tell the window manager, start resizing it. And this is a little bit of a cheat here. Maybe we should have fixed me about that. Fix me. We are cheating a bit here by using the current coding to the left button. Client should be will initiate this class. Yeah. Well, whatever, we'll fix it later, and it's not important right now. Okay, and then here is some API type conversion boilerplate, blah, blah, blah. Converting the new diagonal cursor enums to the right cursor bitmap. Adding the enum, and then here's a helper object for the API client request, which is for the Windows Server event loop. It just has the target client and the target window IDs. Here we convert the incoming client message to such an object for the event loop. Making sure that we pass in the WM client ID and the WM window ID, which is the window management versions of those things. Okay, window manager start window resize. Now we take the position in button separately instead of it requiring a mouse event, because in our case we don't have a mouse event here, so the old version will just call the new version with the data extracted from the event. Okay, and then we had to make sure that we update the hovered window out param everywhere. That's cool. So whenever we are ending hijacking of some type in the window manager, we check if the window contains the event position, the relevant window, and if so, we just say that, okay, that's now the hovered window. And this factoring is like kind of awkward. I don't like it, but it works for now, and let's just move forward. So we're doing that in more places, and changing the name of it also, just to make sure that it makes sense what it's for. Okay, and then just header changes for that. Okay, so I think that's cool. Let's try it out one more time. See that we still like it. Oops, now we crashed. See, that's not very good. Bad client ID. Well, I didn't give you a good enough client ID. Back. That would be the target client ID. Where am I creating this? WM client ID. G window. GMM of my client ID. See, I thought that this would work. Why no worky? Are we sending this any more places? Oh shit, here we're not. Yeah, so there are two places we might get a greeting. We might get it asynchronously, and we might also get it here on startup, but we will get it here on startup. It's a bit weird that we handle those things separately, actually. Why do we do that? Handle greeting. I think we should do it that way. Message. Okay, just making sure that we only handle this in one place so that we don't screw it up. Okay, I gotta rebuild again. I guess since we are rebuilding, we could try a different bitmap just to see what it looks like. Let's try this other one. Sort of the inverse of the one I had now before. Of course, the Windows one is quite nice looking, but I don't want to copy that straight up. Not like I can copy anything in this operating system, but for some reason I wanted to make my own corner. So I think this dotted thing is pretty cool. Still building, huh? Finally. Okay, there's that new look. It's not terrible, but I guess it's not terrible. I think I like the other one better though. Let's put the other one back. Sudo sync, please. I just want to see the right one. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I want to have. See, it fits with the style of this frame here in the taskbar, because it's also a sunken style with the gray on top, white on bottom. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so let's commit this. And let's not forget to add Resize Corner. Okay, oh, and let's not commit the kernel change. Okay, the GUI plus Windows Server. Add a Resize Corner widget and status bar gets one free. Directly in status bar. Let's just start here. Okay. So this widget included in status bar. It's in when clicked left button initiate a window resize and request Fixed up. With override cursors being cleared after finishing a drag or resize. Okay, cool. Let's push it. I don't know if it will push. Sometimes things take time here. But anyway, so this is what we ended up with. I have to say I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy that we fixed this issue as well. But yeah, cool. Okay, so I think that's about it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.